Welcome back, guys. I'm going to apologize right now in case you hear the air conditioner next to me. It is that season where things are hot outside and inside, so the air conditioner needs to be on. It's been a while since I've done an update, so this is what I've been working on. It's a sub. For those of you that have never seen one, it's a submarine. It's loosely based off some real subs with some fakery going on here with some missile hatches on the top. Now, the 8 missile hatches are pretty much the only thing this has for getting surface units in the game right now. There will be torpedoes, but as I've said in a couple forums, torpedoes are just basically horizontal water-bound missiles with slightly slower turnings and timings. Now, the real trick here for how I wanted to do these missiles is I wanted them to fly up and then appear to acquire their target. And for that, I'm using an animation. If I just pop the animation player on here, we can see, I think, where it's going to play. That's right, it's a missile route that has the animation. It won't play in here, so let's pop over to the level. So here's the sub in the ocean. You can see because of the way the hull falls off, there's a depth gradient on the side. You actually get the water, whoop, wrong button. You actually get the water doing the sea foam. Kind of in a, I don't know, kind of expected, I guess, way. I'm not exactly happy with the dark spot here, so I'm going to redo the texture in the upper area for the sail to be a little more blue like the rest of the deck. But yeah, oh, and these things here will be emissive, so when it goes underwater, those will still glow a little bit. Just to give you an idea, it can... Oop, let me undo that. It can submerge. And if you're looking very carefully, you will be able to see it. Now, right now the water's a little more opaque, and in the edit mode, the water does appear to be a little bit more opaque. When you're actually in the run mode, the shader's got slightly less light on it. In edit mode, I have the light cranked up, but in run mode, you might be able to see the sub pretty easily. As you can see, you can just faintly see it. I hope you guys' monitors are picking that up. But yeah, oh yeah, and the unit flag still goes with the periscopes and whatnot, and of course that colors with whatever team you're on. Now, I'm going to have to come up with a way so that when it's under, depending on what mode it's in, the only thing that the other players might be able to see are these periscopes. I mean, I might just leave it at that and have 2 depths of running. So we'd have the on the surface like this, ready to shoot a missile or whatever, or completely out of the water like that. So yeah, also the sub works. So without further ado here, I'm just going to fire up the game here. Now, it's important to note for those that may not have seen or know on other threads, we did do some network testing, both myself and Jimmo, and well, over a space of a couple days, we got it to the point where we've got the units reliably run for each player to have about 20 something units. Pretty good. Obviously there's going to be some things to fix, and one of the things that's got to be fixed, I don't know if you can see down here in the corner. Whoop. First of all, let's turn that off. Every time something happens, right now while I have it in debug mode, it puts some text down here in the console, or in the client's console, and text in this engine and in quite a few engines is a locking function. Everything halts until the text is finished being outputted. That might not seem like much, but it actually can be quite a bit if you're running through processes that have to happen many times a second. So eventually I'm going to be able to strip all that text out, and it should be a little faster, but what I'm shooting for is about 20 or so units per player, and right now I'm targeting 4 players is my goal. But anyhow, we have our sub. It does currently have the missile on it. Now, the missile is in the pre-launch position, and that is the current target. That's been my dummy target for all the tests in the last little while. The missile is pre-targeted to that cube. So Doesn't matter. Oh, sorry about that. It doesn't matter. I just got bumped. It doesn't matter what else is going on at the moment. The missile can only shoot at that cube over there, and it will do no damage because I haven't coded the damage in it. The missile is a brand new weapon type. But if I just hit the one key, the L key, it'll launch, get to the top, turn, and acquire its target. Now I need to work on the code to smooth that turn at the top. See, it just kind of goes, poop. See, it's not too bad there the second time. The first time it just does it immediately. So now going forward, it'll be smooth. But if you notice, running it in smooth mode, it overshoots the target a little bit over there. You see it's coming in a little bit higher than the cube. I'm going to launch it one more time. It's going to come in a little higher than the cube, but it's still within the target radius for blowing up and killing things. So I need to fine-tune that motion. But this here is closer to what I wanted, but maybe not that sharp turn. I have to have a look at that motion. But what's actually happening is there's an animation that plays up to a certain height. And when it plays up to that height, then it takes over to the missile seeking function when it's high enough. So the launch part is animated, and then the seek the target part is under regular function. Now, as far as the game is concerned, this is a regular selectable unit, but just at the moment has no real way to target the enemy ships. Its trail is not fully adjusted to match the width of the ship. Its Calvin Wake is kind of the same as these here. The Calvin Wake I need to return and make it speed relative, but we'll see how that goes. I need to edit that because, as you can see, the Calvin Wake just stays on. Made some changes a little while ago, but I'm not terribly worried about the Wake. When I do fix it, it'll fix it across all the units because the Wake itself runs its own scripts. But yeah, that's the missiles. Let's actually have a quick look up close. As you can see, the selection thing is basically a cylinder over the sub, and then it runs the animated texture. So there's no way in heck you're going to miss that sub is selected. But we are going to, whoops, we're going to back out. And if I shoot one more time here, you'll see the missile still goes up, acquires its target, but from a little further away, I think it gets a better job at actually hitting the target. It's a little lower, see? So this would get into the missile having a minimum range, maybe. We'll see. I mean, the whole point of this testing right now is to get the motion acceptable, and then I can make missiles as same as the deck gun. You'll be able to just turn them on, and the ship will shoot a missile every couple seconds. What I intend to do is we'll come down here. I'll just select one of these other units, so I can tell him to go kill that there. Now, if you look here, there's the 8 sort of tubes, and each tube has like 3 missiles in the little graphic. I'm probably only going to use it to fire a missile per tube, and what it might do is just in sequence, like 1, 2, go through all 8 and then start again. I'm not going to give it a maximum capacity for missiles. I was thinking of doing that, saying like the subs might only have 30 missiles and then they have to return to the sub pen. I'm not decided on that. We'll see. The missiles are definitely going to do decided more damage than the bow cannon on these ships. A missile is going to do, oh, I don't know, probably about 1/3 of the damage of a Corvette. So if that missile was to hit that Corvette, it's going to do about 1/3 of its damage, like strip the shields and a bit of the hull. I mean, obviously, in real life, a missile of that caliber, like a harpooner, that would completely destroy that Corvette. But I mean, it's a game. We need to be some sort of, you know, little bit of use of the HP, or else if the units are popping off and dying quick, which I just had somebody ask me about making that a mode. If the units were to die after only a couple hits, like they would fairly realistically for the correct weapon types, it would change the game quite a bit. That might also be cool, and that might be a mode that I look into for, but considering everything in this game is kind of fun scale, I don't think that that's going to happen. Another thing, which you might not have been able to see because we were right over it, but there's a faint diesel smoke cloud around the stacks here when the boats are still. If they're just sitting idling, they build up kind of this little cloud. It's like even that one has a little cloud. Whoop, wrong button. Has a little cloud. If I tell it to move, the little cloud will kind of stay where he was. But it's a very soft amount of particles. In fact, it's probably pretty hard to see. But if they stay in an area for a little bit, like this one has, his little smoke cloud will kind of linger, and you'll get this little gray trail. So, but the light in the light up here is cranked up a little bit, and I've turned the particles down just to see if it was some overhead there. You see, he's got his little dark. Let's see if we can get in here. Up a little bit. There's kind of like a dark cloud forming here. It's not terribly thick, but I might revisit that. Anyhow, if you stuck in for this long and listen to my rambling, thanks for watching. And again, this is just an update. We got the sub in and started working on his weapon systems. Yes, it will dive. I showed that at the beginning. How I'm going to do that with the navigation and whatnot, I'm not entirely sure. And yeah, the missile speeds will be increased when the because I mean, although it's pretty cool to watch the missile go, I think it needs to be a fair bit faster than that on the seeking time. It doesn't have wings. Although it is cool to watch them go. And like I said, the text down here, when that's removed, certain things will run faster, because if there was about 8 or 9 subs in the world, if they were all spamming text to the console, that's where the jam happens, and it kind of slows things down for a split second. So anyhow, again, if you got in this far, thanks for watching, and if you like this kind of thing, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.